Welcome to EDH Anonymous, where we spend less on our production so we can spend more on our cards. Today I want to talk to y'all about my newest deck, Pako and Haldan. Pako the Arcane Retriever, and Haldan Avid Arcanist. These two cards on their own are insane. They do so much work. Like I almost don't need the deck. I could run nothing but land, and these two might still pull off wins. Pako, whenever he attacks, exile the top card of everyone's library with the fetch counter on them, and then he gets a +1/+1 counter for each non-creature exiled this way. He starts as a 3/3 with haste as only a 5-drop. Haldan lets you play the cards you exile, only the non-creature cards, but it lets you play all of the cards you exiled and spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. So you can cast anything you steal from your opponents, except for non-creatures. Now, the main win condition of this deck is beat face with Pako. It's the easiest, it's the most effective, but there are a lot of ways to steal everyone else's stuff and start using it against them and start winning like that. So, these three stacks here are solely to help Pako. Here we have big damage boosters. Angrath's Marauders. If a source you control would deal damage, it deals double instead. Mage Slayer. When equipped creature attacks, it deals damage equal to its power, so it's, for all intents and purposes, a free double strike. And then Blood Mist, which at the beginning of combat, target creature gains double strike. Put that on Pako, you can win in one turn. Next we have lots and lots of top deck manipulation, both for us and a little bit for our opponents. Mostly we have like precog field, brainstorm, lots of stuff to manipulate what's on top of our library with scrying and stuff. But we also have a few options. Totally Lost, to put something on top of its owner's library, and Hunting Drake, which puts target red or green creature on top of its owner's library. So a very easy way to deal with something is by throwing it on top of someone's library and then exiling it with Pako. Even though I can't cast the creatures, still gets rid of them for me. And then all of this is like just scry stuff to filter through the top of my deck. And then we have this stack to make our Pako unblockable. 3 mana, target creature can't be blocked. Up to 2 target creatures can't be blocked. Unblockable. Unblockable. Gains flying. Creatures your opponents control can't block. And gives flying, so no matter what, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure Pako goes through. Then we got a stack of counter spells, protect Pako. And then we have a stack of steal-yo shit. All of these different spells are ways to steal control of permanents. Oh my goodness, focus camera. All of these steal permanents, like Switcheroo, Exchange Control, Bolas's Clutches, you control enchanted permanent. All of this stuff. Very fun to start. Because, sometimes you miss the really good stuff because they already played it. So you can steal it a little later if you need to. Here we have a couple of cards as well that do the same thing Pako does. Etali exiles the top card of everyone's library, and then I can cast any of the non-land ones without paying their mana costs. And Chaos Wand, which target opponent exiles from the top of their library until an instant or sorcery is exiled, and then you can just play it for free. And then all of those cards go back to the bottom of their library. So, lots of ways to abuse your opponent's decks. We got a little bit of removal and protection. Always good to have. And then we have our ever-important ramp stack. Grand Warlord Radha and Savage Ventmaw are creatures that give you a bunch of mana upon attack, and then you don't lose that mana as you enter your second main phase, which is really nice. Bunch of mana rocks, whatever I could find, and then ramp spells. Lots and lots of ramp spells, so I can get Pako out as soon as humanly possible. with the new set reveals that we've been seeing, and it's pretty soon that I'm going to be able to pull a turn 1 or turn 2 Pako out, which could be very scary. And we also have a couple of utility cards right here. Tatyova, she lets me draw a card and gain a life every time I play a land, and Gaia's Blessing lets me, which lets me have a little bit of graveyard recurrence. So if I lose one of the best cards in my deck to discard or mill or whatever, I can Gaia's Blessing and get it back. And that's the deck. And you know, this deck is probably my most budget-friendly deck. It's only about $70, but it absolutely slaps. My friends hate playing against this one because Pako just becomes so scary so fast. On turn 1, he has the first turn you play him, he has the potential to become a 7/7, and then he can go up by 4 power every time he swings, and the +1/+1 counters are added to him before damage is dealt. So on turn 1, or rather the first turn you play Pako, you can swing for 7 commander damage in an instant. It's very, very strong and very, very fast. So they make me play with only 4 cards in my hand instead of 7 cards in my hand, and I still end up winning sometimes. It's very, very ridiculous. It's just such a fast aggro heavy deck that there's really nothing you can do about it once it starts getting rolling. Because even if I've cast Pako 4 times already, chances are, with all of this mana and all of this ramp, I can play him again, no matter what. I've played games where I've had to play Pako for 13, 15, 17 mana because he gets targeted down so hard. But that is the whole deck. I hope you enjoyed this deck. It was really fun for me to build. I've been looking forward to building it for quite a while, and I finally had the chance to go through all of my friends' cards and put together a first draft. So I don't really own a lot of my own cards because I only just recently got back into Magic. However, my friend has a sizable collection that I've been pulling from and borrowing from until I'm able to accumulate more cards. Right now, all I have is a little bit of Zendikar stuff from the recent release. I went to a pre-release event and got a bunch of cards from it. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you did or didn't like about the video or the deck. And then until then, I will catch y'all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.